This is episode 5, I think, of Exhibitionist. It's been a little while because everything's been a little bit insane moving up to college, where I am now, as you will notice from the different things behind me. That's my roommate's side of the room. That's his wall. And so today I'm going to talk about mostly that. So on the moving into UC Davis front, it was sort of predictably stressful and a big deal, and everything got all moved around and put my whole life in boxes and all that, and that's done now. I live in a suite with 9 other people, and I don't think any of them know, which is exciting. I'm only friends with one of them on Facebook, so I don't even know if he's figured that out yet, because he's my roommate and he's not a native English speaker. He's from China. He's cool. But there's been no axe murdering, which is good. I haven't had to have any awkward conversations yet, except one with a girl down the hall, but I told her on purpose because she was asking about my tattoo. I locked myself out in my underwear a couple days ago, which was really exciting, because I had to go talk to the nice RAs on call. And the funny thing is, when you're in your underwear and you're a transsexual and you have tattoos, people don't ask about scars because that could be weird, but they do ask about the tattoos, and if you're like me and all of your tattoos relate to your transition, you have to explain that, or you have to lie really convincingly, really quickly on your feet, which I can't really do, so I didn't do that. So I guess that makes a grand total of 3 people I've told so far. Oh no, that's not true, because I told some guy I told the leader at this Christian fellowship I tried going to, which you can read all about on my blog. But I'm going to try to pretend that didn't happen because he was kind of a dick. And I kind of didn't want to tell him, and I, again, got backed into a corner and couldn't lie on my feet. But I didn't want to lie to the nice, residence hall people. But I did want to lie to this guy because he was kind of an arrogant douchebag. So what this kind of works out to is a weird little vacation from my usual mode of operating, because in high school everybody knew, because most of them were people I went to middle school with, and that was when I sort of came out. I don't know if trans people are supposed to say came out the way gay people are, but anyway, you know what I meant. And so I'm having this weird thing where people meet me and they don't know, and it's kind of awesome because it means that we don't have to have conversations about my genitals, which is what happened for 2 years after I came out. Invariably, someone who knew who I was, or had me in their classes but hadn't really talked to me before, inevitably we came around to that. And that's not happening to me, which is great. But it's also kind of scary because it means that if they know, it means they find out, even if it's I tell them. But so I don't know if that's going to be an issue. So far it hasn't been, and I blend in well enough that it hasn't come up. Mostly they just kind of think I'm weird because I get up really early and I don't want to go to the frat parties. In the purely physical realm, I'm once again working out in a gym full of people approximately my age, and that means that by and large they're all bigger than me. I made the mistake of going when the men's crew team works out, which is to say that there were people the size of trees using the bench press. Bar thing, bench, whatever. See, I don't know the words, which makes me sound a lot stupider than I actually am, because I do know what I'm doing, I just don't know what it's called. Because I've always worked out by myself. But there was a team of people the shape of trees in there, and so I had to go do something else, so they left. Because when you're 5'3" and kind of little anyway, and they're big scary jocks, it sort of sets off my inner nerd who's afraid of wedgies and having my head stuffed in a toilet, which has never happened to me, and I don't think it's even ever been threatened, but there's that voice in my head that needs to get away from the tree-shaped people. Which leads me to an aside about locker rooms. Apparently, I pass well enough that I do not, cause a gap in the earth to open and all gendered spaces to fall through them, because I heard that's what happens when trans people go into gendered spaces. But I apparently now am sufficiently gender conforming to not cause that to happen, which is good. And I've realized that the desire of the average American man to not be either creepy or gay pretty much means that nobody notices. I mean, it's not like I stand around naked like those weird, creepy old guys that I think live in there. But no one's noticed. At all. Ever. I have 2 feet of scars on my chest. I'm 5'3". I have hips like someone who can bear children. And, well, I'm careful not to move my swimsuit, having taken it off to rinse it out. And, you know, strategic swimsuit holding can get you pretty far. I'm still surprised no one's noticed. Not complaining, but surprised. Which leads me to the other weird thing that's happening to me, is that I apparently no longer look queer. Like, I don't set off immediate, like, queer bells. Which is weird, because I've been some flavor of queer since I was about 12. And it was always really obvious. I was a dyke, or, you know, I've been called faggot a couple times, which is bizarre. Because, well, at the time it was wrong on a couple levels, and it's still rude and offensive, but it was just weird, because, anyway, but I'm not used to no one knowing, or to no one. I feel surprisingly invisible, which is funny, because I once told someone that trans people had superpowers and we could turn invisible. And it turns out I was right. Turns out I'm often right when I'm being an asshole. I had kind of an adventure getting my shot, because I had to go to the doctor's office, which Google Maps decided was on the opposite end of town as the one it actually is. I had to go over the only hill in Davis, which is actually a freeway overpass. And then the nice man doing the injection, because I'm not allowed to do it myself, because I don't even know procedure, hit a nerve, and it really hurt. So it still hurts. And that's not making me happy. But other than that, I mean, there were no bureaucratic problems, so turns out I get to keep my new endocrine system. Yay. And that's really it. This is going to be kind of a sloppily edited video because I need to finish it before my roommate gets back. And that's all I got. Talk to you later.